Part 7. Days went by, so did the weeks and months to come. I didn't have much progress on anything in this new college of mine, though I could say that I was still in delusion of grandeur. In case you don't remember what that exactly is, it's false belief in one's own superiority, greatness, or intelligence, even in the face of overwhelming evidence to the contrary. When I think now, it was justifiable, in a sense that my college was one of the best among those in the capital. Also, side by side, getting in the college was another big feat, and I was among the 130 candidates out of the 1800 that filled the form for enrollment. That must have fueled my delusion in a just way. I wasn't progressing much on my studies or on making few mates. The embarrassing thing for me when I talked with my classmates was that I rarely remembered their names, even though 3 months had already passed by. And now, I could neither ask their names nor could I address them when I felt the need to. So, a better way out of this dilemma was minding my own business and not talking to others, except when compulsion was brought about by the situation in hand. I have found two important conclusions from this act which I was bringing to life every day. Firstly, there is an upper hand to this act itself. People assume the ones who seldom speak to be intelligent and smart. You just have to act as if you're analyzing the situation or thinking whenever you're seen by others, and the rest is all done. You're called out the smart chap among the crowd out of the blue, just as if a lottery hit your luck with its charm. You know how it's like to get the desired result without having to work hard for it, don't you? The second thing that I concluded from the act was that, on doing such, you get a lot of free time for yourself and your thoughts. You are at once brought into the state of peace, where you don't have to poke your nose into the matters of others, but rather into your own world. What would be more promising and satisfying than getting lost in your own world, all while participating in these worldly affairs? It's like building a bubble of universe inside your own very mind, a bubble where you are the creator and the created both at the same time. I can bet that you just need one try to get addicted to it. And isn't that amazing? The first exams on the college was a complete disaster for me. It was such a mess. Added to the fact, the incident that took place just a few days before the results of it were out. It was 4. The college was off, and I was going back home with the rest of the crowd. Obviously, the crowd was going to their own homes and I was going to mine. It was a cool summer evening. I was just out of the gates when I got a hand tapping on my shoulder from behind. I looked back to see who it was, just when I saw the owner of the hand. It was a girl, and I seemed to vaguely remember that I had seen her somewhere. Maybe it was in the class itself, because I didn't used to roam around the college, so it would be absurd of me to think that I would have seen her on the other classes or section. She was there in checked shirt, checks of red, light green and pale white intermingled with each other, and a grey jeans. She had her hair tied at the back in a single bundle, which now seemed to be trying to get loose, maybe due to the tiredness of the day. Everybody, even the hairs which seem to hang idly over our head, should have the right to get some rest at the end of the day, don't they? Don't know, but that's what it seemed like. She bore height that seemed to match great for her build. She was fair in complexion with smooth skin, slightly large eyes, and slight traces of eyeliner still left on her eyes. I think her eyes weren't tired after all. But the most notable fact was her snugly placed nose, that was not so pointed after all, and the black dot like mole on her right cheek. Yes, that just seemed to grab my attention. It wouldn't have been the case were it on my face or the faces of my friend, whom I find to be filled with scars and scattered uncanny moles. Oh God, I always doubt the benefit that mole brings on the face of the bearer. Nevertheless, it's always the moon, not the sky, where you note the scars meticulously, no matter how beautiful they make the moon. But both of them are beautiful in their own ways, which means I am beautiful too. I mean, handsome. Don't care much on the grammar, will you? It's not my mother tongue after all. So, where was I? Yeah, her eyes were in the search of something. The black-colored cornea was roaming freely to the right and left, only to get enlightened by its boundaries and then again return back, giving a to and fro motion about the eyelids. By my medical knowledge, which I somewhat believe to have now, can just say that it was not nystagmus, rather just a reflection of anxiety that was clearly depicted by her eyes. She was searching something, maybe words to speak, so I thought to help myself. Yes, not herself, because I still didn't want to engage myself in any kind of conversation with anyone whomsoever. So I said calmly, yes? Maybe she was relieved, and that's when she said, "Do you have a cell phone?" I nodded. She continued, "Can I make a call?" I nodded again, but this time, because of the compulsion of mannerism, I had to reply, "Surely," and also give her a small smile. She called someone whom I didn't know, and at the same time didn't care enough to know as well. Let me clarify something, just so that you don't think wrong in this situation. I would like to make it clear that in our country, in our times, it was not allowed to bring cell phones to high school. But our college was liberal in the fact that it allowed us to take cell phones to the college. But there was a limit of price tag of phones to be rupees 5,000, which would be around $45 at the time. And that was the cause of inconvenience for most of the students who were there with iPhones and Android phones of latest version, which would cost 50,000 or more. Maybe you might think that's why she couldn't bring the cell phone, but she had the cell phone in her hands. Just the fact that it was battery dead that day, as she said to me later. So let's not misunderstand her. Thus, the conclusion of this side talk is that she was a modest, down-to-earth girl without a speck of arrogance whatsoever. This was just a starting of a conversation that was to be continued for 3 to 4 more years. She completed her talks and gave me back my phone. I was just about to leave when she said, "Thanks, Saroj." I was shocked that she knew my name, but I was still in confusion if I had seen her in the class. She further continued with a bit of pause. "I don't know if I should say this or not, but I, along with most of the other friends from the class, believe that you will be the topper in this exam." I couldn't speak further, maybe due to the weird, spooky feeling. So I hurriedly said, "Well, thanks, bye." Phew. Well, that's ended. I breathed a sigh of relief while I hurriedly moved on my way home. Was it that abrupt? For then, no. But thinking now? Yes, of course. See the sarcasm of the situation here. A little while ago, she knew my name. I didn't even know her. But I was there analyzing her, and now, when she seems to know more about me than I expected, there I am, running away from her rather than talking with her. Isn't that strange? Maybe that's the kind of strangeness you might encounter on your talks with an introvert. Or maybe the feeling of getting your secrets exposed is the most dreaded feeling that people of the modern 21st century can have, be it introvert or extrovert. Maybe it's because people will see the you that is hiding inside the mask you're wearing 24/7. And you know deep inside that you are miserable and tired pretending to be who you wish to be, not who you are. So that's what scares you, not the fact that your inner self might be exposed, but the fact that your inner miseries and loathsome caring human will be exposed. People with masks may not understand the human, but you surely cannot wear a new mask to cover it. That's what troubles you the most, cause you have the habit of changing masks based on the situation, and it's an urge that constantly caresses you. Ultimately, that's what you fear, the fear of your true inner self. That's why the world today is not a world teeming with humans, but a world teeming with masks. Actually, a lot of masks. The result was out. After a few days of getting this strange feeling, I was scared once again. But not by the results, but strangely by not being able to stand on the hopes of classmates, those whom I didn't even think mattered to me. Strange, right? When you are affected by those whom you least expect to matter to you. I don't know how you would feel then, but I felt pretty bad and at the same time queer. A feeling that was sparked into my mind was scary. That is to say, bad plus queer equals scary, a pure form of horror.